He was the governor of New York. He's one of the nation's memorable political orators. He's a man who many people think should have been president, or at the very least, a U.S. Supreme Court justice. And he remains a unique commodity in American civic life, a political figure who actually thinks about the democratic process, thinks about right and wrong in American political life, thinks about the past and the future and how they mesh with the present. He's Mario Cuomo, and he's our guest today on Dialogues.
Dan Lynch Dialogues.
Governor, thanks for being with us today. It's a great pleasure to have you.
Good to see you again.
Now, the last time you and I saw one another was in Albany. We're now in your office in Manhattan, where you practice law. Have you been back to Albany much since you left office?
Not a lot, in the sense that my body hasn't been in Albany, but Albany will never leave my heart and my memory. I spent 20 years there, and frankly, there were 20 of the most significant, most interesting, and most enjoyable years of my life.
Andy, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it. Now, this is the desk on West 57th Street from which you do your commentary every week for 60 Minutes.
Yeah, it's a great help not having to go to a studio. My studio is my office. It saves a lot of time.
You made this desk too, right?
Made this desk out of what's known as a walnut flitch. Ebony dovetails to keep it from cracking any further.
Nice piece of work. I find most of your commentaries a nice piece of work. I'm always fascinated.
What do you mean most of them? What's wrong with the others?
Well, every once in a while I'll see one and I'll ask myself, did he do that just to make people mad? And I was thinking specifically of the Mel Gibson commentary not long ago on The Passion of the Christ. You talked about that movie and Gibson after you saw his interview with Diane Sawyer. And I had much the same reaction you had, that the guy seemed very wired and animated. Not what I expected, having watched his movies. But at the end of it, you mentioned something about him having made a lot of money off the crucifixion, and I thought to myself, gee, I wonder what the mail is going to look like at CBS this week.
Wow, it really looked heavy. I mean, we got about the most mail I have ever heard of, and it was mostly negative. We got, after I did the response and used some of the negative letters on the air, we then got a huge response from people who say, I wish I'd written and told you how much I liked it.
Were you surprised at the response?
No, no.
This is a
to hell
topic
with them.